Hello everyone, my name is Joseph Alexander and I'm the president of the Sacramento Valley Alumni Chapter. I wanted to share a few tips for two groups of people today. The first being those of us that are working from home now full-time that may not be used to it, and the second being recent graduates or people will be graduating soon that are going to be coming into a very different job market. So first off, those of us that are working from home full-time now that may not be used to it, one of the most important things you can do is have good internet. Whether that means going to your provider and getting a better plan or moving closer to your Wi-Fi router, maybe hardwiring in, whatever you need to do to make sure that your internet is solid will make your experience a lot less frustrating. Also, I definitely recommend having a separate physical office space that you work in. That could be as simple as it being another room or just a corner of a room that you don't normally go into unless you're working. I find that really helps me mentally to kind of break away from work and at least keep some semblance of work-life balance during these really crazy times. Another thing that I found really helpful is to keep to a schedule. So you want to have a regular time that you start work and a regular time that you end work, if at all possible, and try to stick to it. It's really difficult when you're home all the time and it's really easy to just walk over to the computer and keep working and you kind of lose sense of time. One thing that I've been doing is making sure that I know what day it is, because the days are kind of blending together. And then also, I do try to start work at the same time every day and just keep some level of a schedule. I know it's very tempting right now since you have nowhere else to go, and I think a lot of people feel that since they have nowhere else to go, they should be working the whole time. That's not the case. You definitely need to take a break and do things for yourself. Finally, for the work from home folks, definitely recommend turning on your video when you're having video conferences with your fellow coworkers and clients or whoever you're speaking with. There's just so many nonverbal cues that we miss out on when we don't have we can't look at the face of the person we're talking to, and it really helps keep those lines of communication open when you're working with your coworkers and whatnot remotely through Zoom or whatever video platform you're using. Now, if you're a recent graduate and you're coming into this potentially crazy job market, I have a couple of tips for you. I actually was coming into the job market the last time we had a major economic recession like this back in 2007 and 2008, kind of that time frame. And one thing that I definitely recommend, and is just a reality, is you're going to have to be flexible. So that means, interviewing is going to be different for a long time. The normal in-person interviews that most places have are just not going to happen. It's going to be remote. It's just going to be a totally different experience than what you prepared for and maybe what you've dealt with in the past. Also, your first choice internship might dry up. You might have to look elsewhere. Also, you're going to want to potentially look at more stable companies now. Look for stability, some place that's been around for a while, because there's a lot of small businesses and other businesses that are suffering right now, and it may not be a good move to come on to a place like that when you're first starting out. One more thing too, you're going to want to make sure that your resume is top notch, because you're going to be in a market now where it's a lot more competitive, and these companies are going to be making potentially fewer hires, and you're going to need to stand out more than you maybe would have before the coronavirus hit. That's actually something that my wife Rachel and I work on. We do a resume workshop that helps tune your resume to a specific job. We're going to try to do a virtual version of it, so maybe that'll be something that comes down and you can check that out. But definitely have someone review your resume and do the best you can to tune it to the job that you're applying to so that your resume stands out. And most importantly, work your network. That's something that Tau Beta Pi is really awesome for. It's a huge network of like-minded engineers that you can tap into, and also work your LinkedIn connections, friends, anybody you know. Try to get that foot in the door into a company that you may have trouble getting into otherwise, because this job market is going to be crazy for a while, and anything you can do to get in front of things and stand out is going to help you. So I hope everyone's staying safe, and good luck.